Welcome back, folks. Short video on the directional bias for this week. Okay, you're looking at a daily chart of gold. We have an engulfment candle, okay, from last Friday, and we also have on the daily chart liquidity, these relatively equal lows, okay. And I have previously mentioned 2455, okay, which is this bottom purple line there, and that is the 4-hourly fair value gap, okay. So we also have this weekly low that I spoke about in a previous video that I did over the weekend, okay. And I think draw on liquidity is pretty clear if you look at a weekly chart. Let me turn off these lines. You can see we have a weekly fair value gap, okay, and that low there is 2470. So that's the initial draw on liquidity that I'm going to be looking for, okay. But I think there's a good chance we close in that fair value gap on this weekly chart, come back into the weekly bullish order block, okay. I'm not overly bearish on gold. I think there are still higher prices to come, okay. But I think for the first half of this new month, September of 2024, I think for the first half of that month, we, in my view, should see expansion to, well, maybe not expansion, but a manipulation to the downside, okay, as part of the monthly candle, okay, and then expansion to the upside towards the later half of the month of September. That's what I see, okay. Right now, I think the drawn liquidity is going to be down to this low of this weekly candle, okay, which is the premium end of this fair value gap, okay. That to me is going to be the draw on liquidity. I'm going to be then looking at what price does. How does price behave at that level? We could either leave this fair value gap open, trade back down into the midpoint, okay, or completely close that fair value gap. There is this weekly bullish order block that I will be looking for, okay. On a 4-hourly chart, that's the fair value gap I've been talking about over the last couple of weeks or days. I think I spoke about this not last week, maybe the week before, and that 4-hourly bullish order block. This move down here is the liquidity that the market has in the need for this move down. So there's a lot of stops that are going to be under these lows, okay, under these lows here, and under these equal lows as well, okay. So that's my directional bias. That's my opinion, okay, not a trade recommendation. So monitor price and learn by monitoring how price moves from discount pretty arrays, premium pretty arrays, as it's making its way down to wherever it needs to go down to, okay. Now, it's a little bit tricky because we also have these equal highs above. There's a lot of liquidity above, okay. It's my opinion we don't go back up there, okay. Obviously, we'll have some kind of a pullback, so look for inefficiencies, okay. This market is very efficient, right? Gold doesn't really leave too many gaps open, but you need to study the charts. Look for inefficiencies to identify where that pullback may need to come into, okay. And there's going to be manipulation on both sides. So we have equal lows here, okay. I won't be surprised if we take out Friday's low, okay, the initial manipulation to grab liquidity resting below these equal lows on this 4-hourly chart, okay, and then go back up to rebalance a higher time frame inefficiency, then the original move to where it needs to go. So you got to align volatility injections by way of the news, okay. I haven't looked at the news calendar. I don't have it up here. Let me see if I can bring it up. So we don't have any news today, okay, and today I think the market's closed. I think it's a holiday for the markets today, Monday. We have news every day after today, right? So we have news on Tuesday, we have news on Wednesday, okay, we have news on Thursday, okay, big news on Thursday, and news on Friday. So expect a lot of volatility this week in the market. It's also the first trading day of the new month, okay, and expect manipulation on both sides of the market. As I said, I'm not really sure about these equal highs. As I said, I don't believe we're going to go back up there, okay. I think we'll go back up there once the market has taken liquidity below, okay. Obviously, it can be wrong. We could go back up there first, right, and then come back down. So it all comes down to identifying your setups. That's why understanding what you need to see as your setup for your entry is important. That's what you've got to learn, right? You've got to learn your setups because that's what it comes down to. Directional bias is just a guide. What really comes down to, okay, is understanding your setup. What day you expect the market to reverse. I like Wednesdays, which is the middle of the week, or Fridays at the end of the week, okay. Tuesday is also a common day for the market to make a top, right? So we might go down, take out this liquidity, okay, and then start to crawl up. You want to look for a crawl up. That will be indicative of a false move up to wherever this needs to go to rebalance, okay, and that could be over the next couple of days. And Tuesday, we might see an inside day maybe, or a big range day down, but I'd like to see an inside day prior to the market making its real move. So maybe Tuesday we see the day which is an inside range day, short, small range day, where the high and the low of that Tuesday is contained within the high and the low of the previous day being a Monday. And then maybe as the market has crawled up, okay, then we have an inside day, short range day. Then maybe Wednesday we take out buy stops, right, wherever they're resting for a bigger move down. Okay, so there's lots of different variations. Ultimately, news is what's going to drive the market. My opinion is that the draw on liquidity is going to be down to this fair value gap on the weekly chart, tapping into this weekly bullish order block. Okay, how that occurs over the next couple of days is what's going to be tricky, because there's a lot of news, as there typically always is in the week, and there will be a lot of volatility and manipulation on both sides. Okay, so you just need to monitor price and identify order flow, maybe on a 15-minute time frame, and monitor the market at key times. Right now on this 15-minute chart, order flow is bullish. Okay, we're coming into a bullish order block, and that kind of makes sense, right? So we kind of need to move back up and rebalance, and then maybe there'll be some manipulation to take out the low of Friday for possibly a move up to rebalance the market on that 4-hourly chart. Maybe chop around. This could be over a couple of days, and then ultimately middle of the week, Wednesday or Friday or even Tuesday, we might see the original move. Okay, it needs to be aligned with what's on the news calendar. But again, it comes down to looking at how price behaves at key levels at the right session on the right day. Okay, so this will be a great lesson for you. You've got to monitor the charts, try and plan out what you think the market's going to do, identify the manipulation that occurs, look at what time that occurs, what day that occurs. Okay, have a look at where the market is. Tuesday New York session. Okay, is Tuesday an inside day? If it is, then most likely Wednesday will be a large range day. Look at where the market opens on a Wednesday. If it's opening up high, okay, after taking out high of the week, and it's New York session, maybe that's the day. If you can align it with news, where you may expect a move in the direction the market makers are intending to go. And then we need to just watch out for these equal highs. Okay, as I said, these equal highs are pretty smooth. Okay, a lot of stops residing up there. And my opinion is the market will leave that intact, because the move down isn't such a large move to go back down and rebalance. It's only around about 350, 400 pips. Okay, if we just measure down to that weekly order block, or just even down to there, you can see 300, 400 pips, maybe 500 pips. Okay, so I hope the video is useful. As I said, you've got to monitor the charts. Okay, this is a great learning for you to monitor the charts over the next week and to see how does the market get back down here. What does it do on its way down here? Okay, I will now talk with you in a future video.